what is the best action camera for you riders in 2024? Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes, and today we are looking at what is the best action camera in 2023-24 for you riders. Over the last 18 months, I've been using the Insta360 X3. I absolutely love this camera, but over the last couple of months, there are new action cameras on the market, and we've got the Insta360 Go3, we've got the new DJI Osmo Action 4, and the brand new GoPro12. So I wanted to see how they all stack up and what is best for you riders. If you're looking for any of these cameras, there are loads of reviews on YouTube, but I don't think there are any specific comparisons for mountain biking from all these cameras. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna test, first off, how does it ride? So how do we shoot the POV footage? So we're gonna put it on the helmet, we're gonna have a chin mount, because the chin mount is the best, and we're gonna judge how the image stabilization is, how wide and immersive the lenses are, how the sound is, because you might wanna do a little bit of Sam's Bikes voiceover, and also how the exposure is when you go from direct highlights, so when you're riding in the sun, to then under the trees in the shadow. So that's the first test. And the second test is slow motion. I know we all love to get a bit of slow motion footage of our mates out riding. And the third and final test is quite simply putting all the cameras on a selfie stick and doing an intro to the video, like Welcome to Sam's Bikes, and just see how they all perform. Because I know a lot of you riders that are making Instagram and YouTube videos just need something to work like that. So we're gonna compare that. And then we're gonna go back to the studio, we're gonna compare everything, and I'm gonna give my conclusion on which is the best camera for 2024 for you riders. So let's check out the cameras. And number one is the camera I've been using for the last 18 months. This is the Insta360 X3. So it's an action camera and also a 360 camera, just coming in at 179 grams. It's an action camera, so it shoots 4K at 24 or 30 frames a second and 2.7K at 60. And it's also a 360 camera, which shoots 5.7K at 24 or 30 frames a second, and it's coming in at 539 euros. And next up, the Insta360 Go3, which is coming in at 320 grams. But get this, riders, check this out. You can take the little camera, a standalone camera, and film just on that, and that's 35 grams. It records in 2.7K at 24 or 30 frames, and you can also shoot at 1080 at 50 frames, and it's coming in at 429 euros. And now the brand new DJI Osmo Action 4, which is coming in 142 grams. It shoots in 4K at 24, 30, 60, and 120, and it shoots at 1080 at 240 frames a second, and it's coming in at 429 euros. And lucky last, the brand new GoPro12, coming in at 154 grams, 5.3K, shooting in 24, 30, and 60, 4K 120, and 2.7 to 40, and coming in at 449 euros. You also see we have the max lens mod, which is a really wide lens. So we're going to be testing the GoPro12 as is and with the lens mod. And also, riders, I want to let you know that all the cameras are set up for the POV in the widest view possible, and the sharpening's turned down, and all the color settings are in the flat profile, and the noise reduction is turned on. So everything's set to the standard setups that I normally use. And riders, we have a new test rider at Sam's Bikes. Martin, welcome to the channel, mate.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries. And riders, I got a little bit excited the last couple of weeks. I went down, I've crashed, I've done something funny to my shoulder. So he's going to be doing the slow motion and the POV footage and doing a bit of Sam's Bikes speaking. And also, I wanted to say, riders, we are working right now on the Virgin e-biker series. And Martin has been on the e-bikes now for like 3 weeks. What do you think of them?
I bloody love it. This bike with this motor.
Are you trying to do an Australian accent?
More or less.
All right, let's go do the POV footage now.
Riders, we're here at Sam's Bikes, where we only talk e-bikes, and this is a sound test on the Insta360 X3. So we're here at Sam's Bikes where we only talk e-bikes, and this is a sound test for the Insta360 X3. So we're here at Sam's Bikes where we only talk e-bikes, and this is a sound test for the Insta360 Go3. So we're here at Sam's Bikes where we only talk e-bikes, and this is a sound test of the DJI Action 4. So guys, we're here at Sam's Bikes where we only talk e-bikes, and this is a sound test for the GoPro12. So guys, we're here at Sam's Bikes where we only talk e-bikes, and this is a sound test for the GoPro12.
And now it's time for the slow motion. So we've got the drop in the background there. Martin's going to go over that a lot of times. And we're going to shoot it in the highest frame rate, which allows you to slow it down in post-production in all the cameras. So now into the final part, the opening or the closing part to your video, so the walking shot. So right now, we are on the Insta360 X3 in the 360 lens mode. And how's the sound? How's the color? How's the invisible selfie stick? It's pretty cool. Now, onto the next camera. And now we're on the DJI Osmo Action 4. And how's the sound? How's the color? How's the sharpness? How's the stabilization? And also, you're going to see now, we're going to switch it over to the invisible stick, which you have to do in the app. It's a little bit fiddly, but how do you reckon it looks, riders? And now we're on the GoPro12 without the lens mod, so just the normal camera. How's the color? How's the sound? How's the exposure? How do I look? What a long test this is. Let's go on to the next one. And now we're on the Insta360 Go3, last camera in this opening, ending sort of part to the video. What do we think of the color, the sound, and the stabilization? And now let's head back to the studio and analyze everything. And riders, welcome back to the studio. What an epic day of filming. Massive shout out to Bayer on the tools and Martin riding up and down that downhill about 30 times. I think he found out being a YouTuber is not as easy as it looks. Anyway, massive shout out to them. And riders, if you haven't subscribed to Sam's Bikes, please do share it with like-minded people. It really does help out. Now, let's have a look at those statistics. So, first up, I'm gonna say we have amazing cameras here, but the Insta360 Go3, I'm going to say it looks like a really interesting camera for someone that's going on holidays, wants to do different types of filming, maybe wants to put that little camera on their bike doing different things. But as an overall camera, I'm going to take this one out. I just don't think it is on par with the other ones. And now let's go on to the POV footage. So the POV footage, I was obviously really happy with the X3. I've been using it for 18 months. I think colors are great. I love how wide, immersive it is. Image stabilization is amazing. I'm going to say one thing that when you do go into the shadow, it does take a little bit longer, like a split second, to change that exposure. But overall, the picture quality is amazing. And another thing I really love about it is you never miss a frame. So you don't actually need to frame it up and get like the perfect view. You just put it on your chesty or in your helmet, and then you reframe it after. And then in the 4K mode on the X3, I didn't think it was wide enough. And also the image didn't seem as sharp or as clear as the 360 image. So I'm going to say if you do get the X3, I would definitely be doing it in the 360 lens mode. And now going on to the DJI Osmo Action 4, I was really impressed with this camera. Super clean footage, great colors, great stabilization, very sharp footage. And also the exposure when you're coming in and out of the trees was very quick. I'm going to say I didn't think the lens was really wide. Might have liked it to be a little bit wider, but overall very good. And now onto the GoPro12, again, absolute standout, great colors, great stabilization, very sharp image, the exposure going in from highlight to shadow really fast. I'm gonna say a split second faster than the DJI and the Insta360. But again, I didn't feel the lens was that wide. Maybe is it, I'm used to shooting on the X3 a lot because it's super wide with the 360 lens mod. But then we went on and put the Max Lens Mod 2.0 on it, and that did change everything. Super wide, super immersive, great colors, great stabilization. I'm gonna say for hassle-free POV filming, the GoPro 12 with the Max Lens Mod is the winner, closely by second with the X3 in the 360. The reason why it's second is because in post-production, it does take more work. And then when it comes to the sound on all of these action cameras, I'm gonna say, riders, no action camera has good sound. I'm gonna say probably the GoPro was a standout, but they're all pretty good, but it was a perfect day with no wind. I'm gonna recommend anyone that wants to get really good POV talking, you get a DJI mic and sync it up in post, or you can actually connect it to the DJI and ride with that. So that is definitely a benefit with this camera. And now let's go into the slow motion, and the Insta360 X3 only shoots 50 frames a second, which means you can only slow it down 2 times. So I'm gonna say that's out. And then we've got the DJI Action 4 and the GoPro 12, which in 120, they were both very good, very, very good. And in 240, I think the GoPro 12 was better. And we also compared it to the iPhone 14 Pro in 120 and 240 at 1080, up res to 4K. And I'm gonna say, I normally go for my iPhone when I'm doing like slow motion, but I'm gonna say from now on, I'll probably be going for the GoPro 12. And lastly, the walking or opening shot, the X3 I think looks amazing, super immersive, kind of confuses people, how you're holding the camera, who's holding the camera. Love the look, love the colors. Maybe the quality's a little bit less than the DJI and the GoPro, but when I did do the invisible stick on the DJI, I didn't really like the application, how it worked. It was a bit fiddly. I could only export it at 1080, so I'm gonna say I wouldn't use that. But both these cameras, if you wanna just get a little bit of talking head, a little bit of opening to a video, these are great. I think this is more immersive and more interesting to see, so I'd be going for the X3. Okay, riders, now down to the $1 million question, which is the best action camera for you riders in 2023. I'm gonna say that all 3 of them are absolutely amazing. They're all standout cameras, and I think you riders are gonna be happy with any of these cameras. And it's really hard for me to pick just one, so I actually have picked all 3. And I'm gonna tell you why I think all 3 are good and see which category you fit into. So I think the X3 is gonna be perfect for someone that wants to upload to Instagram and YouTube, so shoot vertical and horizontal footage. Because with the 360 camera, you can shoot everything and you can edit vertical and horizontal footage after the fact. And also, you never miss a frame. But there is more work to do after you go riding. You need to go and select what you want to be seen in the footage, then export it and then import it into Final Cut. So there is more work involved in this camera. And the next camera, the DJI Action 4, I'm going to say this is the best value camera out of the lot at 429 euros. I think also if a photographer or a videographer is looking to get one of these cameras, they're going to be blown away with the image quality coming out of this. In the flat profile, the files were amazing. They could grade really well. They could be sharpened really well. I just thought the file was really good overall, but I thought it lacked a little bit of that immersive feel, you know, like what you get from the X3. And that takes me on to the GoPro 12 with the Max Lens Mod 2.0. It is amazing, super immersive. And I think this is perfect for a videographer or someone wanting to get that really wide angle, very immersive, and not do post-processing after, and also wanting to do slow motion. I'll definitely be using this for my slow motion from now on. Anyway, riders, that is it from me today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed to Sam's Bikes, please do so. Share it with like-minded people. It really does mean a lot. Stay safe out there this weekend, and we are going to see you next week.